How has been the week, ladies and gentlemen? I want to greet you and say good morning. We are now back to another session. I want to say it's the 11th session, and I believe all of us are going to enjoy our journey of entrepreneurship. Remember, we started almost 11 weeks ago, and we are moving on. Mid-August is when we end our semester, trimester, and then we begin. We do our exams, and the semester is done. Isn't that great, ladies and gentlemen? That despite the challenges that are facing not only this country, but globally, we are able to continue to study. So I want to say karibuni to this class, and thank you for keeping it there. I want you to encourage your friends who sometimes don't appear that the train left the station long ago, and our station is very soon of destination is soon arriving. Mid-August, when we finish a semester and we do our exams, and you get your grade for this course. Isn't that great, Angela? Hello, isn't that great, ladies and gentlemen? That we have used an unprecedented approach to learning. You know, life never stops. It continues despite the challenges. And therefore, I want to encourage you to look at the positive side of life. Don't look at the negative side. Challenges are there. This impact of COVID-19 is there, and many other challenges, but look on the positive side, on the summer side, as they say in the Northern Hemisphere. Summer is a played time when it is very bright. People go out there with the brightly colored outfits, enjoy outdoor games and things like that. It's beautiful. So despite the challenges of winter, which they go through, winter is a very cold period. Despite this challenge we're going through in winter, we are studying. And I'm glad that you've kept there and you've encouraged your friends. And just want to say thank your parents and your sponsors, whoever is sponsoring you, paying your fees. Tell them from Mwalimu, Professor Kibas in entrepreneurship. He teaches us entrepreneurship. He says, thank you for supporting me through school this far. That's what message from me. And I believe even also from the management of the university, the VC, the DVC, all top management, Senate, I'm sure, and your lecturers, and everybody says, telling your parents and your sponsors, thank you for giving us the opportunity to continue with you during this challenging time and to study with you. Right, as we begin now, we want to look at today's session. Today's session is trends in entrepreneurship development. And this, I want to say, is a very wide topic, because when you got trends and issues, from our course outline we sent you the beginning of the semester, this topic is very wide, but we'll narrow it to cover the key things that you need to understand. Because, as we said, entrepreneurship is not a static discipline. It's an area of study that affects lives. My definition from the beginning is that entrepreneurship is a way of life. How you innovate, how you create, how you take risks, how you look for opportunities, how you take them and run with them, failing and still rising and moving on. That is what I would say entrepreneurship is. It's not starting a business, a duka, a shop, or running a matatu, or running a border, or manufacturing, let's say, making chips or whatever. It's beyond that. Or running a supermarket. It is beyond that. Entrepreneurship is a complete way of life. And everybody globally talks about entrepreneurship. When you talk about entrepreneurship, when you mention it, everybody's faces brighten up, because it's a living subject that's moving and transforms lives. So this morning we're going to be looking at what is happening locally and also globally. But before we do that, there is something that is very important that is affecting us even now. Using the computer, using Moodle, using Zoom to communicate with you and discuss with you. So as we say, slide one here is just to talk about, again, this is our template. We move to the next one, which is going to give us a picture for the day. And I want you to look at that picture closely. Look at that picture. What do we see in this picture? What 5 things do we see in this picture for the day. What 5 things do we see here? I want to hear from you. I want you to read, to tell us, what do we see? What 5 things do we see here? This picture for the day. Can you see it clearly? By the way, is this picture clear? Is the picture clear? Is the picture clear? If it is, what 5 things do we see in this picture? I want us to discuss them. Is it a picture of the day? Yes, it's clear. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. And thank you very much, Leah. Angela, thank you, Wanjiku. Good. What 5 things then do you see in this picture? I want you to look at the 5 things you see there. What 5? There are many of them, but you can tell me. Wireless sensor networks. Mwasi has said that. Bulb for energy saving. Yes. 5 things. I want you to state 5 things, not one. Not 5 things. Yeah. Look at them. What do you see there? 5 things that we see in this picture. Enlarge it a little bit. Yeah. What 5 things do we see in this picture? Building management. Mercy talks of building management. Yes, Mercy. Wireless sensor networks. Wow. Right? Yeah. Keep the answers coming. Keep the responses coming. But what do you see in this picture that's interesting? Homes and cities. What about them? Yeah? What about them? Mercy Ongova, do you want to say something? I pick on you to say something about those homes and things. Or Jacqueline, Bulb, somebody standing vehicles, homes, yes. What is all this about security and surveillance? Jacqueline, I'm okay. Do you want to say something? Hello. Or Belinda, Onyango. Can see embedded mobile, telemedicine, yes. Healthcare, yes. Wow. Security and surveillance, energy consumption, Internet of Things, smart homes and cities, agriculture, yeah? What about these things? What about them? The question is, what connects these things? What connects these things? Yeah? Wireless sensor networks indicate trends in technology, yes? You must see. What else? What else? Does anybody see something like cloud? I see plant and tractor to plowing and also home equipment, house equipment, yes. I see plant and tractor for plowing, yes. What a number of things, eh? Very interesting picture. This is what we call the Internet of Things. Everything get connected for smarter tomorrow. And the Internet of Things, everything connected, including where we are. You see, we are talking to each other or with each other remotely. You know, yes, and the Internet of Things, we see all this. I want to move the next one also. It may be clearer also to some of us. Now, that's another one. That's another picture. I make it a little bigger. Again here, when we look at that, you look at Internet of Things in industry, affecting industry. Things in industry, heavy machinery, transportation, smart cities. You can see tram cars. You know, you just get in, you don't have the driverless transport, public transport. You just get into your car and you go where you want to go and you press the button, you stop and so on. Automation in industry. You see? Automation in industry. Then we see here consumers. You and I, we can see wearables, shoes, for example. They're smart shoes, by the way. Your weight as you walk around, they balance your walking. You can see the runners, they use smart shoes, some of them, although they were banned. The runners use smart shoes that spring. They help you spring and run. You know, the TVs, you remotely can control them and so on. And many other consumables that you do. Using your phone, you can see that. Your gadget, your handset can do that very easily. And then when we move this up a little bit in homes, you know, appliances, you can see your gates. You can monitor your gates and sort of home monitoring. When you are far away, you can see what's happening at home. Home automation, doors, whatever, even meals. And now automation, even meals. You can, the robots that can cook and bring your food on the table, and serve you and take away the utensils and so on. Wow. Beyond that, many other things I don't want to mention here, but you can see it in factories, smart factories, healthcare. All this is network connectivity powered by software. Right. Having that, thank you very much for the responses that are coming. There's a sign of Bluetooth, which, yes, thank you very much. You saw in the other one, Bluetooth, the transfer of documents enabled, you know, and I see a plan and tractor, even plowing. Even when plowing, when we go back to the earlier one, there are also tractors that are smart. They're happening now in Europe and America, smart tractors. The farmer doesn't need the workers or drivers. He only needs special equipment and feed it on the tractors and having mapped their farms. And the tractors are loaded automatically, loaded with the fertilizer and seeds. And then they are switched on and they move. They go to plow, they plant, they harvest. All these things, you know, this is what's happening today. When we talk of contemporary issues in entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship has gone into technology and has taken over and transformed things, how things work. You saw, unfortunately, the other time when there was this the war. Now they can send smart planes to go and bomb the enemy without sending pilots there. It happens. You see those things, unfortunately. There is also telemedicine where surgery is done. Miles and thousands of kilometers are far away, and surgery is being done, and so on. So all these things are connected together. When we talk of entrepreneurship, I wanted to open our thinking a little bit beyond just buying and selling and transportation that we see every day, and then the small, medium, and micro enterprises. I want us to go outside and see what is entrepreneurship, the bigger picture of how it works. And you can see in technologies coming in, as we'll be seeing shortly, that is playing now a key role in our lives. Now, when we talk of Internet of Things, what do we mean exactly by Internet of Things? Just explaining this as a way of preamble before we look at our trends and issues. So when we look at the Internet of Things, what do we mean exactly by Internet of Things? Definition is here. Describes the network of physical objects or things that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with each other, communication, equipment, computers talk to each other, you know, and then take information. The weather devices, for example, how do we know about what's happening in the weather? There are the satellites out there which look at the weather, sense the weather, and then they are connected to earth stations. And then the fellow seated in his office with a computer can read winds and so on. When they talk of the devastating weather in the Western world, for example, the cyclones and the hurricanes, they can predict these are coming, and they can predict precisely where they will hit. You see, using this particular approach of technology, Internet of Things, computers talking to each other, sensors, even sending people to the moon. Very soon, some of you might be tourists in the moon, in the outer space. Very soon, in your lifetime, you'll see this happening. You know, whereby people are sent to the moon, pilotless vessels that go to the moon and so on and back, or the outer space. All this is happening. We can see it even today also, that you don't need to go anywhere. You can get all that you need in your living room using, of course, technology, which touches on the Internet of Things, how computers talk to each other. When you make an order, for example, of your vehicle in Japan or your equipment from Russia or Europe, you know, sending it, you pay using mobile funding and banks, funds transferred, order is applied, you receive your goods and so on. This is what is happening today. Examples of objects can fall into the scope of Internet of Things, include connected security systems, yes, surveillance. You saw in the first picture there, you saw a surveillance camera Each is connected to a console, a computer, where somebody can see what's happening using that surveillance camera and so on. There are many things. So examples include security system, thermostats. You see thermostats, electric cars today. There are cars that you don't have. You have a key. You can start your car while you are a few meters away. Lights in the household, you can switch them on and off without having to switch them, go to the switch and so on. All these alarm systems, speaker systems, vending machines. You know about vending machines where food is put in the machine and you just put in the coins and you select what you want and the machine selects what you have selected and it dispenses the food to you. It's the same thing with the ATMs. You see the ATM machine is a very interesting one. It's a vending machine, really. It's from there, whereby you get your smart card, put it in there, check your balance if you have some money in the account, withdraw, or you can also bank, and it gives you the banking slip and it gives you the slip for withdrawing. All these are things that we see today. It's entrepreneurship. The main purpose of internet-connected devices has been to enable to communicate with each other, access online data, and the IoT, as it is abbreviated, devices that generate real-time data that can be used to analyze and make decisions. This is what I wanted just to look at as a preamble to our course this morning, because we want to look at the bigger picture. What are the trends? What are the trends and issues that touch on entrepreneurship today? Having done that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to move forward now to our course outline for today. And when you see the course outline for today, it is telling us about, number one, Mwalimu always talks about thinking of great minds. And the great mind we are looking at today is Steve Jobs. You know Steve Jobs. If you don't, Google, find out. Steve Jobs said this: let's go invent tomorrow rather than worrying about what happened yesterday. I want us to reflect on that a little bit. Reflect on that quote. Let us go invent tomorrow. We are inventing tomorrow rather than worrying about what happened yesterday. Wow. Interesting one, eh? It touches on our motto also. Our university says, invent your future. This just has happened, When I picked this, I did not think about our motto, but it is bang on. We invent our future. So for you, ladies and gentlemen, as you go through this course, you are actually inventing your future. I'm just looking at our motto here. That's the motto of the university. And if you are going through the university and you have not invented your future, then, ladies and gentlemen, you can see my card, invent your future. You can see it. But anyway, you see, it talks of inventing your future. So what Steve Jobs is saying here is this. That's what he said, that we invent our tomorrow. Let's invent tomorrow rather than worrying about things or what happened yesterday. So I want you to think about that. In your own study, 11 weeks now down into this course, most of you are fourth years, first semester, some of you maybe are first year, you're just somewhere in your studies, your degree program. As you continue inventing your future, your tomorrow, don't worry about the back. Whatever failures you had, those are lessons. And that's what it means. So when you talk about challenges, when you talk about issues, when you talk about trends, we are saying the future. And that's what the world is doing today. That's where it's going, the future. When you talk of people today, they are no longer talking about problems, challenges of COVID-19. They are looking at rebounding. How do business rebound? This is post-COVID-19. Those will be there. I believe all of us will be there post this COVID-19 in what they call the new normal. A new normal means people now have accepted the reality as it is today and have continued to move on. We moved on. We didn't stop. When you look at other institutions, sorry to say this, they stopped. They went home. They closed. But ZTEC, your own university, thought about, no. We have a contract with the student and the parent and the sponsor and the country at large. We have a contract that will offer learning. Whatever it takes, using whatever approaches, using the Internet of Things and using technology, we can be able to offer training to our students, wherever they are, those who will be willing. We say some have challenges, different challenges, but we say those who are ready, take up the challenge, let's move on, let's connect, let's learn. That's why your university is where it is. We're finishing the semester very soon. New semester is beginning. Your brothers and sisters who are joining us, who are joining us from last year's Form 4 group, we've told them join. They are already there. They're in class. Some selected to choose to come in September, but those who came, we are on. So we are saying we are not worried about tomorrow. We are looking at the future, and that's what it means. That's how you move in life, and that's what I want to encourage you as you continue, ladies and gentlemen, that we are moving forward. Today's lesson, the objectives are these. When we finish this class, at the end of this class today, we'll have analyzed the contemporary issues in the development of MSCs in Kenya. What are some of the contemporary issues touching the micro, small enterprise in Kenya? What are they? We know some of them. We'll be looking at them a little bit more. And then we want to evaluate the trends in the development of MSCs through what? The eyes of this technology. I just gave you an appetizer when I talked about Internet of Things. That technology is now here to stay, to change, to transform lives of anybody. You can't remain behind. It's like talking about change. Change is one only thing that is permanent. It's one of the few things that are permanent. You either accept to be changed, to change and continue, or you are changed to follow those who have already gone ahead. So that's what it means. Even this COVID-19 is change of lifestyles, change of how to offer training and learning, change of working at home and working smartly and so on. This is what it means. So at the end of this class, we want to look at how technology is affecting micro, small, and medium enterprise. Now it's touched across the globe. Technology, environmental issues, what are they that affect enterprises? This is contemporary issues. You talk about environment. When you talked about the role of the government in one of the sessions, I think the fifth or sixth session, you'll go back there. We talked about NEMA, we talked about the Kenya Bureau of Standards, we talked about National Construction Authority. All these talk about environment, but we specifically talked about NEMA, National Environmental Management Authority, which ensures that anybody who is building or anybody who is bringing up a structure, take care of the environment so that you conserve the environment and so on. Anyway, and then globalization, look at globalization. It is here to stay. You see what's happening? When this COVID started in China, it's a global issue. It's touched everywhere. When it started a small fire, bushfire somewhere, it's now touching the whole globe and transformed the lives of men and women. When you go to the streets, everybody's wearing a mask. Everybody's keeping distance. Everybody's staying to themselves. You see, all this has changed. So we talk of globalization, that's real, and it's here today. So how does it affect business today? And what are the key things that we need to do? SMEs have to do under even the circumstances we are in today. Then financial technology is there. You know, financial technology is there today. You can see you don't need to go to bank. In fact, many people are now encouraging, and we are being encouraged to use what? Mobile money. Get your money from the bank using your mobile gadget, transferred, pay good for goods, goods are delivered to you. When you talk of financial technology here, it's here to stay. It's one of the major inventions of this country, Kenya, to the world was M-Pesa. And everybody says, Kenyans, you are very innovative people. Hey, by the way, we have a task force set up by the university to call it Innovative University. We're moving your university to an innovative university. And very soon we'll be soliciting your ideas. Those of you who are very innovative. And the thing about innovating, time is coming when we will want to involve you in this. So we talk about innovation in finance, innovation in SMEs, innovation in the environmental issues, many areas that we can touch. So we'll be looking at this financial technology, then analyze and appreciate trends globally. We look at the global issues. We are not in a village that is an island. We are touched by China, touched by Europe, touched by the Americas, touched by whatever other continents. We are our business. Our way of life is touched by global events that affect what is happening today. So we'll be looking at that as we continue, ladies and gentlemen. I want to move on now to the first one, which touches on what are the trends and issues today. What are the trends and issues today? We started by talking about Internet of Things. That was our introduction, Internet of Things, how things are interconnected. We like it or not, they are there today. You know, you go to a hospital, when you register, the details are given. When you go to the doctor there, the details are with the doctor. When there's a prescription, you go to the pharmacy, the details are already there. You get your medicine. If you are making payments, whichever way, payments done, you get your medicine, you go home. Now you don't no need to do that. Sometimes you can do that at home now. There is a call a doctor, dial a doctor, and that happens. Dial a doctor, and they will tell you how you're feeling, and the information is recorded, and very quickly the doctor will check and tell you this is what is the problem. We suspect this. You need to do the test or go and take this medication, and the prescription done. Medicine is already the pharmacy is connected, and the drugs are brought to your doorstep. Automation, things are happening now very fast, by the way. And all this is entrepreneurship. When we go back to the definition of entrepreneurship, what did we say? It's innovation, it is creativity, it is taking the opportunities that are and risks involved in many of those things. But innovation is at the heart of entrepreneurship and creativity. So automation, transactions including financial records and statements can be automated, e.g. QuickBooks. This technology. Mentioned that integrating artificial intelligence programs, including incorporating chat boxes for communication. Chatbots. When you call a phone, when you are calling, for example, an office, and somebody there, people may not be there, but you hear a voice. They tell you, "Welcome. This is Zitec University. What can we do for you? We appreciate your services with us." Who is that? It's a voice that's talking to you. Even at midnight, it will talk to you. So these are things that are there today in many organizations. When I was just an incident a little bit, so I was doing my graduate studies. Undergraduate, there wasn't much there. I did my undergraduate in Canada, University of New Brunswick. My graduate studies many years later, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, doing my master's. And we are ordering books. I used to work with my professor. And here we are. And he tells me these are the books, these are the companies that manufacture, that are publishing these books, Wiley, International, and so on. And so I would call. And when I call, I hear an automated voice, which tells you now, if you want to order some books, press 2. If you want to speak to someone, press. You know about those things. Those are today. They were very strange to me those many years, early 80s. Now, today, it's very common here, even in Kenya, that we have chatbots and so on. You look at it, even people like organizations like Misuku and so forth. We'll be discussing this later on. You can also Google them. Outsourcing to online freelancers. Yes, theoretically, a remote freelancer can do everything that an in-house employee can do. An employee writing reports, doing research, you can have a freelancer. There's now a lot of outsourcing on online freelancers. Yesterday, by the way, I met a young man, graduate of one of the universities. He didn't tell me, but he told me he's graduate, some course, program in business. And I told him, "What do you do?" He says, "I have a job, but what I do as a sideline, I do freelance online work. I do research, I do work for other organizations online." And this is what is there today. Even you can do online business. You can do online jobs. There are people who want some research to be done, assignments to be done, not necessarily your assignments, assignment, do it yourself, class assignment. But I'm saying, if you want to do a research, for example, a company wants to find a research about who are competitors, which are the top leading companies, who are the manufacturer of this product, what are their prices. You don't have to do it yourself. You get a freelancer, they'll go on the internet, they have a good facility in their homes or whatever, and they are there, they just search for you and give you the information, give you the reports. You want this particular product, they are manufactured by this company in Russia, this company in China, this company in India, this company in South Africa. These are the prices. These are their prices. These are their conditions and terms of business and so on. So for you get the information. You pay the freelancer. This is happening today, outsourcing a lot of information, including the books. When you talk of QuickBooks and others, many organizations today, larger organizations, medium and large, including even small organizations that are doing a lot of business, local and internationally, they have outsourced their books. They don't need to have accountants and so on. Well, they may have a finance officer, finance director, but below him, they're very thin because they have outsourced a lot of the information. Books are done elsewhere. They are done by companies that are actually outsourced or receive. They keep the records, they do the books, and they give you information real time. And this real time, when you do sales, they are recorded already in your equipment, and also this is also done in their books wherever they are, and they'll give you reports, generate reports, and so on. So outsourcing has become a big thing today. Unprecedented pandemic. I put this one. This is another one. There's an issue today that COVID-19 and its impact on micro, small, and medium enterprises. This, ladies and gentlemen, is unprecedented. Why am I saying that? Because nobody has ever thought about it globally. Of course, there was a Spanish flu that killed many people, but that's way back early years where the movement of people was very limited. So there were these epidemics, but this one is a once of its kind, unique in its kind, because it's touching the whole globe. And it's an issue, it's affecting all businesses. If you may pause for a minute and ask ourselves, how has COVID-19 impacted businesses? Maybe I'll need some answers from you here a little bit. Let's ask that question ourselves here. How has COVID-19 impacted businesses locally and globally? That's across the globe. Need some answers from you guys. How has COVID-19 impacted businesses locally and internationally? Let's hear some of you say something. Let's hear some of you say something a little bit. All right. How does it, as we look at this is one of those things that is happening today. How has it affected, impacted business globally? Listen, gentlemen, I want to hear from you. How has this affected businesses globally? That's the question I raised. How has COVID-19? Thank you, JICA. It has led business to embrace technology in their day-to-day activities. Thank you very much, JICA, JICA Victor. Let's hear from many of you. How has it affected business globally? We're talking of trends and issues. Automation is there. Integration of artificial intelligence programs are there now. Chatbots artificially and so on. We saw about the surveillance cameras that are all over. Even today, surveillance camera can be a button. It can be your glasses. The ones like Malim is wearing here. Yes, Meingati. Lemayan, you want to say something? Hello, Lemayan. Yeah. Thank you, JICA. Yes, I see JICA said something. What about the others? It has a business to embrace technology in day-to-day activities. What about the others? How has this affected business globally? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from you. Belinda Onyango, are you there? Belinda, are you there? Jacqueline, are you there? Moke, are you there? Hassan, are you there? Hassan? Yes, I hear, I can read. Sarah Kinama, thank you, Sarah. He has led to increased mobile transactions. Yes, JICA, yes, we are going to embrace technology. Yes, Jacqueline, global and tourism closing down, embraces the learning, e-learning, transport sector affected, school closing down. Oh, very interesting. Close, yes. Joram, it led to closure of small businesses, some businesses, pubs and so on. Businesses both locally and globally are adopting new measures to try and survive the negative impact. Yes, they're doing what they call rebounding. Mercy Ongoba, some businesses have grown. E.g. textile industries, yes, all is not lost. Some businesses are growing. Hassan Shah, I'm using an audio only. Okay. Leah, Minor, it's led to the collapse of many small businesses and loss of employment. Very interesting, yes. Lex Thiongo, it has led to adoption of new working from home, a new approach of life. You know, you can see the social impact also. There is the economic and the social impact. Good question is, can you discuss the social and economic impact of COVID-19 as it affects SMEs in this country. You can see that. Working from home. What does working from home mean? You know, people are now staying home longer, and you can see a lot of domestic issues. Led loss of employment to some people, yes, and create others. Increased death rates has left some of organizations without key operators and so on. Closure of some business, right? Led to reduction of labor force in most companies, and some employees are working at home. Led to encouragement of remote working in all sectors. Yes. Mutinia Marian. Do you want to say something, Mutinia Marian? Yeah. Led to encouragement of remote working. Mobile banking has been the means of transaction, yes. And we see here businesses are exploring new ideas such as production of sanitizers, yeah, new areas of business. Travel restrictions which has hindered business, yes. It has also developed others, it's led to loss of adoption of new technology, right? So we can say there's so many things that are there, creativity is there. You know, English innovation and innovation in inventors of ventilators, and so on. All this is happening. So these are things that we just see on the surface. As I said at the beginning, this topic is wide, but we'll only narrow it as far as we can move for what are the key things we need to understand. Other things that are there, we go to things that are happening. Integrating online fronts, adopting e-commerce. That's what some of you have said already. That you see when you do e-banking, e-commerce, it's there. Challenges are people are hawkers, can't go with their day-to-day businesses due to lack of hand sanitizers after customers before handling the commodities. I don't know, Marcy, you're saying something, yeah? Hawkers can't go on with their day-to-day business due to lack of hand sanitizers, okay? Challenge has to be many, e.g. Yeah, it has challenged the people who are out there very much. So listen to production, reduction production, company to reduce spending. What about globally? What about globally? I want to talk about globally. What about globally? Globally. What do you see globally here now? What about globally? Led innovations such as infrared gun thermostats. Yes, very good. What about globally? I want to hear that. Now, as some of you type, I want to move on to talk about integrate online forefront adopting e-commerce. Yes, a business that offers complete solutions via online platform ultimately has an advantage. Now it has created more businesses. You see that. It has made people creative across the globe, using crowdfunding platforms to raise money. Yes, that's also a contemporary issue that companies are using other ways of raising money. Bootstrapping, as we'll see later on also, SMEs can raise money through bootstrapping means really you're using your own resources. You're not really borrowing any money, but using your resources when you start your business. Key thing is to start from your own savings and whatever you have. Crowdfunding is when you borrow money, as we'll see later on. This is going to come up when we talk about financial issues. When we talk about financial technology, we'll talk about this. But meanwhile, we're looking at using other platforms to raise money. These are contemporary issues. Integrating items, adopting e-commerce, and many others that we have talked about. And as we move on, forms of emerging entrepreneurship then. I have just mentioned this, and we'll come back to some of those items as we go along. Forms of emerging entrepreneurship as we see trends in this country and beyond. We selected a few. One are a family business entrepreneur. This is what we are seeing as emerging. It's no longer business owned by Baba or Mama or an individual. They are there. But we see a lot of family businesses coming up today, among, of course, the indigenous Kenyans. Family business. Family business was known basically by the Asian community, cuts of Asian community who came to this country many years during the time of before railway and so on. They are basically family businesses. Look at the Madhavani in Uganda, look at the Shahs in this country, look at the quite a number of them. Asian family businesses that run back few generations. Look at even the Manu Chandaria is a family business. You look at people like Bitgo, the guy of Bitgo, it's a family business. Many of these are family businesses, some a group of companies and so on, although it's sold now. But many of these are family business, Asian. But Kenyans now, we see Kenyans coming in as family business, where one or more members of the family have a significant ownership interest and major commitments there. We now see family business like Brookside's a family business. If you read about Brookside, who owns Brookside? It's a family business. And many others in this country, they are coming up. This is what we see as a trend going to emerge in the future. There are many, many others. Some group of companies, USAG, is a family business owned by Madam Dr. Mushemi and our children now, and they're moving on in the next level and so on and so forth. Diva entrepreneurship is what you'll hear here and there. These are lady female entrepreneurs who really organize, manage family business. Ladies are coming in very strongly, yeah, as we'll see later on. Yeah. Information entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur who uses the opportunities on the internet to market and promote information products. Not only information, but the products. Information entrepreneurship. We see that. A lot of technology is coming in now, and we see this happening. Technology entrepreneurship are the innovators who have been developing new forms of business, marketing, transactions, online global communication. Yeah, all this is using ICT. ICT has really opened up the space that you can do anything. Technology, even techno entrepreneurs have come in. Info entrepreneurs. Franchising is another one that is common now across the globe, and more so in Kenya today. Franchise gives a person, the franchisee, rights to market product service using the trademark of another business, franchisor. This is very common with petrol stations, whereby you see what's happening. Petrol stations have either Shell across the globe, across the country, or you get Total across the, and so on. So many of these. Now there is Libya oil has moved into some oiler, and so on. These are very common in that. It was also common in the franchising. Is also common in which areas? Let's get an example. Yeah, give us examples of. Thank you very much for these answers that you kept coming. Diongo, when I asked the question, what about globally? COVID-19 has made individuals to be creative and innovative on other to relevant, remain, and so on. So, okay, you still answer the first one. Mwasi somehow generated poverty around the globe, yes. Generated poverty and also created rich people. Mwasi, yes. Globally, COVID-19 has created a lot of really this kind of thing. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, spent time talking with her from Dublin, Ireland, that's Republic of Ireland, and she was talking about how the government is supporting its own workers, its own citizens. You know, those countries have what we call it their welfare state, where anybody who is unemployed, anybody, all citizens who are unemployed, get $250 pounds, is it? 250 pounds, I think, per week. 250 pounds per week, which is about 1,000 pounds per month. It's good money, eh? It's 100,000, 130,000 per month. That's the minimum that they cushion their citizens. Very interesting. So if you are unemployed and you are an adult, of course, an adult citizen, they will always, you are guaranteed $250 euros per week. You are registered, you go and get your welfare. They call it a welfare. It's a welfare state. For those who have closed businesses and shops because of COVID-19, for example, the impact we're talking about, what they have done is they have converted. Instead of now struggling to run a business that is failing and is closing, they have now closed shop and registered to receive their money to 250 euros per week. Can we afford that in Kenya? Of course, we're talking about money transfer to the senior citizens. This can be the older generation of 70 and above, but it is fraught with a lot of issues and challenges and corruption that many of them cry and say, look, you are tossed from office to office. Go, your name is not here, and fellows take 8 money. This is very clear. Even 2 weeks ago, there was something in Bungoma. By Bungoma East, I think money was taken by the bank clerks, the officers concerned. They colluded to take this money. They transfer money from one account to another, and the poor Wazeis cannot get their money. Anyway, what we're saying is what? This COVID-19 has brought a lot of poverty. Those countries that are very, very good in terms of their taking care of their citizens have what they call the safety net. They provide funds. So globally, businesses have been affected. People have gone onto the welfare, of the government. Business have declined. Sign up, yes, thank you. Decline some businesses. Horticulture business have a recorded drop. Yes, loss of jobs, right? Talked about laying off KQ 650, yes, workers. more people. And so this is what's happening, because internationally we are interconnected. So COVID-19 is a challenge that is here today and it's affecting many of these businesses. Now, e-commerce has increased, very good, Mike Jr. Alex Young, globally there has been shift from use of human labor to use of automated equipment. Yeah, we are going this direction now. The Internet of Things, where machines are talking to each other and doing business. And protocols are also there. Pizza is an example of franchise. Thank you very much, Mercy Ngova. Yes, the question I asked was, can we give an example of a franchise company here? Pizza Hut, you know, that's another. Any others? Any other examples? Give us examples. Provide. Give us more examples of franchises in Kenya. And why? What are the advantages of franchising? Questions. Give us more examples and what are the advantages of franchising in Kenya? Yes. More examples. The Steers, Burger King. Yes. Some of you might not know Burger King. You know, it's not in the remote areas like a place like Eldoret. I don't think we have Burger King here, but we have others. Thank you. Burger King is Nairobi and Mombasa, probably. Debonaires, yes. Who are Debonaires? Sign up. You can tell us what they do. Yeah. Tell your colleagues, what do Debonaires do? KFC, yes. Iron, yes. Kiprotic. What does KFC do? We have KFC. Asian, yes. What are the advantages then of franchising? Can we go to that second question? What are the advantages? Thank you for those coming. What are the advantages of franchising? It's as a form of emerging enterprise. Hadis, thank you very much, Omar. Yeah. What are the advantages of franchising? Can we get that? What are the advantages of franchising? Can we get some comments? Because this is part of what's happening. Of course, we know about all this happening. Reduce involvement of day-to-day operations. Yes and no. Pizza Hut, another example is there. Yes, franchise lead to widespread service delivery in many geographical areas. Yes, Pepinos, they are all less likely to fail. They cannot fail very easily because they have what? You know, advantage of franchise is a great way to expand a business without incurring additional costs on expansion. Yeah, without creating, you go and you are working partners. You are spreading the risks actually, you know. What about the customer? What about the client? Easy to get customers, since the majority of them have food, reputation. Yes, reputation is key. I wanted the word reputation. You know, reputation here is quality. Limited risk and liability. Franchise helps reduction, of course, and card again of ideas. Quality is very important. When you know about Pizza Hut, you will not just go to another fellow selling you pizzas. If you are aware of Pizza Hut, their quality of food, their quality of pizzas, you do that. Or if you go to Pepinos, same thing. All this, when you go to them, you are looking for quality, certain quality you are used to. Burger King, for example, and so on and so forth. Franchise helps reduction total cost. Yes, franchising is advantageous that there's no extra cost for marketing. Yeah, it's already done. From you is a franchisor or franchisee, a person who is actually who is buying the franchise or who is being contracted to run. You know, you are not going to, they're advertising for you. The good things is there already. Yeah, it's limited risks and liabilities are less. Good. Thank you very much. Let's move on. Forms of emerging entrepreneurship. So remember these forms and their features. Family business. What are the key features? Diva. This is the women are now leading, and there's a myth that when women lead businesses, their families suffer. I don't know whether that's true or not, but you can always debate on this. That you see when lady succeeds, women entrepreneurship, we'll see what happens in the family. That has been mentioned somewhere else. Information and so on. We move now to continue with the contemporary issues in Kenya. What are some of the contemporary issues? I've already mentioned some of them about in the last slide there, franchising and so on. But if we zero in on some of the contemporary issues that are very, very burning, I may say they are very, very hot on the table. Youth entrepreneurship. Youth entrepreneurship. I was listening yesterday to a radio station, and they were interviewing this young man, and he talked about this. There's the Youth Enterprise Fund is available. But the problem is you have to register, to be registered to get that tender. You know, the tenders that are floated at the county government and even national government, where they talk about 30% of any tenders should go to the youth, women, and people with disabilities. They're grouped together. That 30% of the tenders for anything happening in the county or government, is to go to these people. And this is what this fellow was saying, that for us as youth, the unfortunate thing is this: you register your company, and if they are floating a tender, you must have registered as a youth enterprise, and you have a certificate to show that you qualify. So the first thing is to register. There's a body that does that, registers youth enterprises, entrepreneurs, so that they are able to qualify to apply for tenders for the government under that program. And they say this: one was floated in one of the counties. In fact, I was talking about Marakwet, Elgeyo Marakwet. They floated a tender for construction. And when they float a tender for construction of roads, feeder roads, you need equipment. So as a youth entrepreneur or a group of youth entrepreneurs, we are not able to win because we don't have the equipment, the machines. So it goes back. In fact, the discussion was the youth under that program is only about 10% of the women and youth and people with disabilities get those tenders. 10%. It's supposed to be 30%, but about up to 10%. 10% is even the highest in many counties. Something that you can also find a study. All the tenders that are floated last year or 2 years ago, just took about 2 years ago. What percentage went to the youth? And it will surprise you that a very small percentage, not the 30%, because the capacity, first of all, is not there. That was the argument. The capacity is not there. And that's where the area is when we talk about issues about youth entrepreneurship. Capacity to be able to win, to supply goods, to win tenders, to be able to offer service and goods. So that becomes a problem. Lack of skills here, youth. Lack of relevant skills and also resources, funding. I did a survey called Ruiru survey. We called it Ruiru MSME baseline survey. We did a Ruiru baseline survey. And under that baseline survey, one of the things that came through, we interviewed about 930 entrepreneurs, went through the sub-county of Ruiru with a team from research team in the university, CETAC University. And we did this study, and what we found out was the majority of the entrepreneurs are youth, between the ages of 18 and 30. Interesting. The youth were entrepreneurs in all sectors. There are those in technology, the manufacturing small things, those in retail, they are retailing, those in transport. We did a survey, and we found out that their age is between 18 and 30, the majority, about 65%. And women were also more. We got 60% were women, young ladies who are in this sector. And the issues that came out in our study was this. One of the key things is they lack training, resources, capacity in terms of the knowledge, skills, entrepreneurial knowledge and skills. They also lack knowledge on financial literacy, how to access funding, what funding is available and how can they access it. And then the other one they also mentioned here is that competition is a big one because there are the bigger businesses that are really competing them out. That was, we did this within Ruiru sub-county. Very interesting finding. We'll be sharing these different forums. And so, but there's another study was done. This was done earlier, 2016, by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. It was a survey, and they say this: 2.2 million micros MSCs did shut down. They closed down within the period of 5 years, or 5 years up to. It shut down in a period of 5 years. So many of them shut down, closed. Why was that so? One of the key things they talked about, lack of due to the finding, was that skills, not money. Money is the second one. Don't talk about there's no money, no capital. It's a question of skills. What do you want to do? And how do you do it? What skills do you have? What knowledge do you have? So when we talk about creativity, innovation, what products to offer, when to offer them, how to market them, how to price them. These are key things that came into play. Quality of products, the things that came to play. So that's what we also found out in the 2019 survey. That survey was last year, 2019. This other one's 2016. This is 2019. If they did another one this year, I'm sure it will almost point the same thing, because the challenges are still there facing entrepreneurs. So youth entrepreneurship is crucial here today. It's a contemporary issue. The Kenyan population, 65% is youth below age 35. Go to the Bureau of Statistics, find out. That's it. And most of them average is they are actually high school level of education, the majority, high school level. Of course, you get college, tertiary training, some of them tertiary training, like university degrees, they are there, diplomas, certificates, they are there. In thousands, actually in millions, you may use that. Because you talk of Kenyan population, about 50 million, and you talk about 60% is youth. You talk about millions. So the youth have, this is where the development of this country should be going. It's a question of talking to your MCA, your MP, and the senators who are just fighting over money, is to think about youth entrepreneurship. How do we develop the youth? And these are issues that we've talked about, okay? These are closed shops because of, largely because of the skills and so on and so forth. Then the other contemporary issue is the women entrepreneurship. Women entrepreneurship is crucial. In this study we did, as I mentioned, survey, baseline survey, we found out that 60% of those entrepreneurs were run by women, young women, 18 and 30. Of course, there are a few who are 30 over that. That's 10% that were over that. But the majority. And what are the challenges that face them? One of them is capital, lack of capital. Every startup needs capital from day one. Of course, we remember you had earlier bootstrapping. Bootstrapping means you have to look for every scrap, for every source of money, your own personal resources to start a business. But many women don't have that. If they are married, then the spouses call the shots, the husbands. If they are unmarried, the young ladies, maybe their parents will support them, and so on. So again, here, lack of capital was seen is one of the challenges facing the women entrepreneurs in Kenya. Insufficient business and managerial skills. This goes back to entrepreneurial skills. When you talk of insufficient business and management skills, what do you mean exactly? You mean they are not able to innovate enough, seeking opportunities, the skills of opportunity seeking. You know, you don't just wake up and say, I want to start a kiosk here, I want to sell milk and butter and bread, or I want to do something else. I want to go to Mitumba, like I see many of them saying, I want to go in this second-hand clothes, this imported second-hand clothes. Well, there are many people out there, but do they have those skills? So that's what they were lacking. They lack, many of them lack this, because the school system that we have been in the past, changing over time, is we are trained for the job market. Employees, period, full stop. An employee, after I finish Form 4, maybe I go to training, I go for a job, I get employed. We never thought about outside the box to think about how best can I use my skills, my knowledge. I am a complete asset myself. To think about yourself as a complete asset, even you. I'm talking to you students. You are 42 of you. Yourself seeing yourself as an asset. So when you get out there, you are not just going to look for a job as the only way of life, but you are saying, how can I be able to manage life, an income for myself? Number one is employment. If I get a job, fine. If I don't get a job, I don't cry and begin mourning and so on. I look at something, I can create a job for myself. So having an entrepreneurial mind is key. So here, insufficient business skills, knowledge. What can I do? If somebody's selling this particular product, why must I sell similar product the same place? Why don't I say, I can see what he's selling, learn from that, and go and open up a different place, another location, so that we don't compete head on. Or I can bring another something missing. That kind of thinking, strategic thinking, is lacking, and it is brought in through entrepreneurship. What we are going through, I hope, is helping you think that way. So, okay, then societal what? Societal prejudices. Of course, there's a lot of that in the research that's done, that people prefer dealing with men than women, but it's changing. Employee management turnover. Yes, employees are their businesses employees actually moving. You hire employees today. I see this a lot when you go to some of those saloonists or you go to restaurants. Today, there are these employees. Tomorrow, there are other new employees. Next month, you get new people. You ask them many times, ask them, how are you, madam? If they're serving there, young man, yeah, how long have you been? I've only been here 2 days. What? Yeah, I was looking for a job. I got a job. Yeah, vacancy was here. There was somebody here, yes, but they left. So again, turnover is very, very high. Why is that so? It's a skills with handling employee management. Many of these entrepreneurs don't know how to handle employees. They think of them as machines switch on and off. Payments delayed. They don't pay them sufficient money salary. Of course, they pay them very little, maybe 5,000 a month or 6,000 a month. I know many of those people who are working in M-Pesa. If you talk to them and they tell you, they're frustrated. They're graduates, a number of them. Or they are just finished school and they were looking for a job and they got working something in a saloonist or in a M-Pesa shop. They are there. And they say they pay me 6,000 shillings. What 6,000 shillings? Of course, it's something. When you work that on a daily basis, about how much? It comes to 200 a day, roughly. 200 a day times 30 days is 6,000. Well, they're paying a rental place, food, transport. You can see. At the end of the day, they have nothing, actually. It's just a question of survival. And that's why the turnover is high among these employees. I've done some quick interviews finding out why do they leave and where they were working, what happened. They were not being paid again, salaries were delaying and things like those. Maybe some of you have examples of that. You may have been working in an M-Pesa or working in a saloon or working in a restaurant, and you can see how you are treated by your employer. So employee management and turnover is high. It's one of those things affecting women entrepreneurs. And then work-life balance. This is a crucial one because the lady goes to work in the morning. If she's running a small shop, kiosk, whatever, she leaves at 5 in the morning. And then she goes on. Lunch, she even does not have lunch. Somebody passing by there. There are people who are supplying food. There's also a lot of business down there. There are people who are cooking and supplying foods to people who are running their shops around or even construction sites. So they'll eat there or carry food from home. Up to 6, 7 is close shop and go home. Monday through Friday through Saturday. Sunday, cuts of Sunday, it's a resting day. They go to church and they stay now with the family. Time on Saturday, of course, are Adventists. But you see that kind of life. A young person of 25, is that what you want to do? So they lack work-life balance because the nature of the work does not allow them. The business does not allow them to even take a break or a holiday. I meet some of my colleagues whose families, whose spouse are working, and they say, my friend, it's tough, tough life. So work balance is key here. What other challenges? What other challenges? Can we chat a little bit? What other challenges face women or youth entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs? What other challenges face youth or women entrepreneurs? Can we hear some of you? Let me maybe hear a few of you say something. Okay. I see lack privacy and confidentiality. Hacker steal this information. This was answering the first one. Mohammed Saina Malimu talked about IoT. These dangers, there are dangers associated with IoT in the field of entrepreneurship. Yes, there are. There are dangers of IoT because the question of even a class like this one where somebody can hack in and listen to us. When machines are working to each other and the Internet of Things, there's all the question of viruses coming in, all those, there are those things that are coming in, Mwasi, and there are many others that are associated with IoT. Also, the downtown of the failure of equipment is another one. It's a challenge if they fail. For example, if one of the satellites up there, the equipment failed and they spiraled out of control. In fact, it was in one of the papers, or was it news sometimes? Yeah. So, thank you very much, Zainab. Thanks. Okay. What are the challenges face women or youth entrepreneurs? Being locked down exposes what? Upon sexual harassment. Yeah. Yes, this is happening. Sexual harassment. Okay. Lack of enough knowledge and skills, right? We mentioned that. Lack of clear direction. Belinda Onyango. Clear direction in which way? Maybe you can say more. I really love people to say a little more. Discrimination. What do you mean exactly, Ndiku, Dennis? Say a little bit. Who discriminates who? Maybe discrimination in funding or because of whatever. Balancing business and family life is a challenge to them. We mentioned about balancing, yeah? Do you want to say something more? I really love people to say a little more than just a quick statement. Lack of experience in management of business, yes. Experience in managing, because when you start, you need somebody to mentor you, an incubation center. By the way, the university is working on that, also under Innovation Center. Yes, there are IoT as terms suggested has to do with internet. Hence, there are dangers with inherent use of IoT. Some of them are whatever, botnets, insufficient, whatever. Coping with fear of failure. Yes, Mohammed, Omar, coping with failure. Yes, this is there. You can think about that, Omar. One of the challenges, failure, right? Yeah, the other one is what? Poor infrastructure. Wawira Chris-wise, you've talked about dealing with stress. Yep, it's another one. Stress is another issue. Stress. You know, when you are working for an employer, the stress is taken up by the employer. But when you are the employer, the stress is there. When are you getting the payroll? When the end of the month, like today, many entrepreneurs are scratching their heads. Where do I get the money to pay my workers? Even to keep them a retainer. You may not pay them a full salary now because of the economy and so on, but where do I get the money? So they spend sleepless nights. I know this because we have been part of this in the past, where we had employees working for us in a school, and money is not there. So stress is there. Family restrictions are there to spend more time with their families. Yes, family time. That does balance again up here. Family time. What is life? That's a question I ask my friends. I have doctor friends who spend, out of the 24 hours, 24/7, they are actually spending 22 hours, 22 hours /7 in the what? In the theater. Except when they go Sunday, I tell them, you must go and tell God, thank you for giving you the skills and knowledge to do the operation you do, my friend. Otherwise, if you continue what you are doing, you are just a machine. You have no life. That's what's happened. So again, here dealing with life. Somebody mentioned there, somebody mentioned there dealing with the stress about difficult among them, family restrictions, family life, defying social expectations there. Women, thank you very much, Nyamwaka Kingi. Kingi, you said defying social expectations. Women, challenges they face. Most female business owners who have attended networking events can relate to this scenario. You walk into a crowded seminar and you can count the number of women there on one hand. When women entrepreneurs talk business with primary male executives, it can be unnerving. Very interesting, Kingi. When women entrepreneurs talk business with primarily male executives, it can be unnerving. It is in this sort of situation, women may feel as though they need to adopt a stereotypically male attitude and towards business, competitive, aggressive. We can give said something very interesting here, which I would want to reiterate and say, look, the question of a female successful entrepreneur running their own business. This came through from one of our partners at Zetech University. This is Samchi group of companies. The lady there said, I didn't want people to see me as a woman. I want them to see me as a business person, an entrepreneur like themselves. So you have to create space, push for space. So she said, you push for space on that table, crowded table of male executives. They are running businesses. You are here as a minority. You have to shout your way out to tell them you can make it. So that's what you're saying, King. That is right. That female entrepreneurs are seen differently by their male colleagues. There are not many female entrepreneurs who are successful, but they are there. But they face a lot of uphill tasks. And that's why KWFT came in. One of the reasons why Kenya Women Finance Trust financial institution came in and said, we are financing women entrepreneurs. But the law says you must have 25, 30, up to 30% males. So they have some few males there, but they don't talk much. It's the women running the show. Women Fund. There's also Enterprise Women Fund, WEF, Women Enterprise Fund, set up by the government. Again, targeting women entrepreneurs to try to help them come up so that they overcome some of the challenges here and give them opportunity. I did a study, a paper I presented about the WFEF, Women Enterprise Fund. I think I presented in one of the conferences, and it's published also, where I was looking at the impact of Women Enterprise Fund, what it has done in terms of supporting women and changing their lifestyle. And very interesting to read about it. I think we'll share that another time. Kibiegon, you've said about embezzlement of funds. Yeah, who does that? Fellow women. Yeah, that's true. I've seen these cases even in the KWFT. Women have been embezzled funds, have gone to court, some so on. Somebody says, thanks, Alex. I don't know. Okay, lack of enough capital, stiff competition, lack of guidance and sense of direction. Your training comes in, and mentorship. That's the key thing Waweru is alluding to, mentorship. Who mentors you in terms of, even businesses require mentors. When you talk to some group of companies, the CEO, the founder, she said she had people to mentor her. So, and she's willing to mentor other women entrepreneurs. So it is seeking information, who is able to mentor me? A successful woman entrepreneur who is not going to be jealousy, because that comes in also, who is going to help me, mentor me to grow so that I get direction, sense of direction. Thank you, Albert. Mohammed, businesses, sign up. Businesses under gender discrimination, and entrepreneur may tenders, yeah. Although now with the tenders, there's this government program of women, youth, and so on, but you cannot avoid to see that there are also issues there. Research could be good in that area, the impact of that program in terms of what has it done. Yeah, that's a research, a rich one. Look at the women, this program, government program to the tendering system. I think there are studies that have been done to gain the information. Mismanagement of funds and so on. Are there ways to overcome the challenges faced by women? Right. Marcia has asked a good question. We have discussed about this. Are there ways? And I have said some of them. Some of them is, number one, provide capacity training. Government and other partners who come out with programs to train the women. Then mentorship program. There are already a mentorship program. I saw yesterday about TV Dada program, and it was inviting women entrepreneurs. A Dada program, one of the banks. Dada program is adopting a young woman entrepreneur, young in terms of in business, adopting a young woman entrepreneur to support them. So there are already programs. The only thing is availability of information. And the problem again is we are not information seekers. An entrepreneur should be networking. That's another key thing. One of the problems here should be networking. They don't network very well. If they network with women groups, women organizations that are supporting enterprises, the government, there's a whole gender office. Network and find out from the government office what is available for me as a woman aspiring entrepreneur. Who can I work with, mentor? That's the kind of thing, again, we're lacking. Lack of confidence by the women entrepreneurs. They don't have confidence among themselves and so forth. Okay. Lack of self-esteem. Yeah, that comes in. And the youth among them not be aggressive. Right. Where do we build esteem? We may ask ourselves that question. How do we develop esteem? Yeah. That's a question I want to ask you guys. Insufficient help funds to comrades. Brian Aberi, when you talk of help, I don't know what you're talking about help for education, training, probably. But that we're talking about business, We're talking about entrepreneurship. What are some of the challenges facing women entrepreneurs? Some have used help money, yes, but basically it's not for that. It's for education and so on. Life is having financial freedom. Life in having financial freedom. You don't have to die working hours and hours, the working day, and so on and so forth. Yes, but instead make the money work for you. Right. Kiyosaki talked about that. Make money work for you. And you are right, Mike Jr., that you must have a purpose and a goal. One of the things, lack of direction in terms of goal. Why are they in business? Why is this woman entrepreneur in business? Or why is that man entrepreneur, young man, doing business? In entrepreneurship, starting an enterprise. Reasons could be to make money and have secure income, right? Beyond secure income, what else do you want? You must be thinking beyond secure income. And secure income may not come. because it's an elusive goal. Nobody gets enough. Even those fellows who are billionaires, they're always busy looking for more money. I talk about my friends, doctors who make money, who actually literally live and sleep in the theaters. They make tons of money. Any operation, 200,000, 500,000, a lot of money. They make this and they do 2 or 3 operations a day. And then out of that money, even if they're making 200 per day, every operation, where would they take the money? Why are they not satisfied? They are very busy. They call it unquenchable appetite. Once you begin loving money and adoring money. So what we're saying for entrepreneurs is that have a purpose. You have sufficient funds to secure a future for yourself and so on, and have time also for leisure, for your family and leisure. Family and leisure comes in. And worship God, to have time for God. First of all, number one, God. So that the worship day, close shop, close business. I may also be mentoring some of you who are in business. Close shop and tell God, thank you for giving me 6 days, giving me work, giving me customers, clients. Even if you made very low money in that week, the lowest or zero, tell God, thank you for making zero. And Lord, God, next week, I'll make more. And God will bless you. He'll give you 3 times. So what we're saying here is that have a purpose why you are in business. And these women are lacking that. And other entrepreneurs, by the way, they also lack that. Pausing there for a minute. Can we, any other issues about women entrepreneurs? Anybody want to say something? Alex Tiongo, women, what are the challenges face women and youth? Inadequate access to finance, discrimination from the general public, dealing with the city council. Yes, I agree with you that dealing with these local government officers who are not seeing the right direction. You see, one arm is not seeing what the other arm is doing, encouraging entrepreneurship on the other and destroying their business on the other. You know, where is the meeting point? And how have you given direction to people? And also, people are, some of the entrepreneurs also don't follow regulations because they don't sell business in this part of the town, sell it elsewhere, but they insist they want to sell it there. That's where you have a problem with the kanjo. Lack of sufficient education, training. There are already programs that are for training. The only thing is people to seek those programs. Where are they? And having time. As we did this Ruiru survey, I tell you, when we asked these people trained, they said, train me at my workplace here. They don't have time to go for a training. And then that money also, they say, I don't have money for training. So they need somebody to sponsor them. You see, the attitude has to change so that you're actually seeking information. And that information is not free. You are paying. Even if you are being sponsored, somebody else is paying. So note that question of free things are not there. Freebies are not there. And this is the attitude. This is something that I tell my friends, colleagues, including yourselves here, that there's nothing for free. Even the money sent to you by your parent or your brother or sister who sends to you, my daughter or my friend or my sister, my brother who is in university, let me send them this money, is not free money. Nothing is free except the air we breathe. Malim, you've said it, yes. There's nothing for free except the air you breathe. Even the water you drink, somebody has paid for that water to be piped, whatever it is. Chemicals to be put in it to clean, to make it better, good, usable. There's nothing for free. Somebody else is paid. So that's the kind of attitude that we need to develop among our entrepreneurs and among our youth, that wherever you are, even you at home, after you finish Form 4, even when you are still at home, what are you contributing to the house? What are you contributing to the food on the table? You sit there to wait. Mama hujaleta chakula. Baba hajanunua hii. Hajanunua viatu. What are you doing yourself? You are not incapable. You are a person who is normal, a person who has 2 hands, good brain, you have legs. Can you do something? Even the community. Some work in the community, cleaning around, somebody pays some money, or do something else so that you contribute towards your own upkeep. This is a key thing that's lacking. So when you come out dealing with a lack of sufficient education here, training, the training is the training of the mind. And I think our education system has to change quite a bit. Even the university, we train you in the mind that it's you to seek information. It is you to be aggressive. Somebody mentioned here we lack of aggression. Who would make you to be aggressive? Don't just sit there and wait. Ask questions. What is this? Why not? And this is what we should develop in our own children. Some of you will have children, future families here. Some have, some will. You know, some of us is a bit late because ours already are gone out of the stable. But the thing is, being trained to think, to ask, to seek information and be able to get it. Get an answer. Seek for answers. Don't take a no for a no. Why no? I have kids, grandchildren who ask me when I tell them, this is wrong, Babu. They say, Babu, why? Why is it wrong? So ask questions. And that's why assertiveness comes in. And therefore, you can get information. You can seek for funds. Knock every door. Don't wait. Nobody bring things on your table. Knock, seek, find, and you'll find them. So, lack of all this. Thank you very much for those of you who brought this. Yes, mercy ensuring that coming your young generation are brought up well, the advice accordingly. Yes, treating them well, treating everyone right, and to avoid stereotyping. Yes, don't accept the stereotype. I'm a girl, a woman, I cannot make it. No, you will make it, but make it the right way. Don't be too over-aggressive until you isolate yourself. You know, a very aggressive and ambitious person isolate themselves. Work with others. Learn the way of working with others in an aggressive way, so that you do it not in an abrasive manner, but a manner that attracts others. They want to see you. I want to be like so and so. Hard working, they listen to people, they treat people in a human manner, and so on and so forth. An examples of these women, there are many. Samji group. I told you Samji, one of those. Wahome, Esther Wahome, quite a number of them. There are very many if you search. The political line is there. Of course, they have other things behind there, but the political line, you have successful women. Women entrepreneurs is, I said, Dr. Esther Wahome. And Dr. Esther, what's the name? The other name, yeah, of Samji Group of Companies, CEO. And there are many other CEOs. Focusing on what you make change, and so on. Tabitha Karanja, founders of CEO Keroche, yes. All those successful people. Right, I want to move. The government regulations is another issue that is there. Government regulations. You know, government regulations play a major role. The policies. We have already alluded to them by talking about the program for youth funding, women funding, youth enterprise fund, and many others. Those are things that are there. And some policies, taxation, for example, may affect businesses. Where you run your business, also another place where you run your business. Location, maybe they are not convenient location, times of running these businesses, and many others. Forget about COVID-19. What's happening is that the government has policies and guidelines to support micro enterprises, micro, small, and medium enterprises. Funding is there, training is there, that training institutions, universities and colleges, and government training institutions are there. Programs to train entrepreneurs are there with the partners, banks and others, UNDP, ILO. All these are working with the government through various agencies, various ministries. In fact, if you went to the local ministry, even at the county level, the person in charge of trade, the CEC, in charge of trade, or the minister in charge of trade, yeah, what training is there for women entrepreneurs to learn about this? They will tell you the whole list of training available in the county and even sub-county. It's us who don't look for information. So the question is, can we change our mind to look for information? So one of the things the women here is lack of entrepreneur thinking, if I may use that term. We move on, ladies and gentlemen, unless there's anything else, we are moving on. Messages below here. Thank you very much for the messages. Yeah, thank you for these women examples. Keroche here. You have Wangare, led Wangare Madhai, yes, who's an entrepreneur in the area of environmental entrepreneurship. You may say environmental entrepreneurship, and say that. Keroche, yes, Esther. Flora Matai, founder of CEO of Melvin's Tea. Wow, very interesting. I didn't know that. I've learned also something, because I know Melvin's Tea, Tech Care, and so on. So the honest lady, yeah, thank you. And many others, you see. Now, the next one is technology. As we said, in the economy, it's just a second. Women entrepreneurs. We finish about women entrepreneurs. We talk about, let's move this here. Technology is another trend. We look at the technology as a major trend today. Technology skills, methods, and all that. I only want to define much of that. But technology has affected the way of life in terms of the trends today, current contemporary issues. Internet revolutionized the way we do things like IoT. Devices such as smartphones have refined our convenience. Smartphone, each one of you are using, some of you are using smartphones as we talk. You are using that phone you have in your hand. Others use it for many things and so on. Technology trends include these things here. Include automation, artificial intelligence, social media. Wow, a lot of social media. WhatsApp and Facebooking. Many others. Wow, they baffle you. Marketing, outsourcing, the economy, working economy, remote work economy, cloud computing, e-commerce, all this stuff. These are all you can search and find, but they are all related to technology for SMEs. Technology for SMEs. It's affecting small, medium, and large enterprises. Automation, what does it do? In brief, it's creation and application of technology. Tools help managing and improving performance in terms of what? I'll make it small here so I can read properly. No, here, sorry. There. Yeah. Automation. Automation tools that help in managing and improving performance, in growth, marketing campaigns, and so on. Social media comes in there. Improves communication. Yeah, I mentioned about that. Technology does that, improving this. HR issues and many, many others. You can do all these things using ICT, information communication technology. The tools make it cheaper for employees. These tools are cheaper than employing someone. Yeah, you find that there's a lot of now automation, which means you have lesser and lesser human interface and human interventions and so on. Automating repetitive tasks is something very common that we see today. So basically, automation is dealing with using technology to do activities that would be done by a person, and also in a smarter way. Reports are generated, decision making is faster because of that. You've seen about the robotics now. When you look at these vehicles being manufactured in the Western world, it's robotics that do it. Robots. You don't see now people in the assembly line. The people that were there during Henry Ford's time of the Ford vehicles and the yesteryears, whereby you had a whole line of people on the assembly. A friend of mine worked for General Motors for many years. He even went to their Detroit plant in Chicago, in Illinois, Chicago area. And he said they employed thousands, they used to employ thousands of employees, including General Motors here, who are people there sitting on a bench on a line. Vehicle comes, those who are fitting doors, those who are fitting whatever, so that people are fitting as the conveyor belt goes. But now, what that has been replaced by computers. You see automation. I don't know if I showed that picture in one of the classes, whereby you see an assembly line. You see now not people but robotics machines. So that's automation. That's all about automation and many others and so forth. Simple one also, when you go to your temperature, you don't have to be touched by someone. You stand there and read your temperature. Machine reads your temperature and measures your blood and everything else, so that you just stand there in front of this machine and does all that. It's automation. And then they generate reports, your pressure, your temperature, everything. And then it goes to the doctor. When you go to see the doctor already knows what's happening in your body. Just asks you questions to confirm a few things. And then a prescription is written there. It goes to the care very quickly. You get that. Going to the pharmacy, you go there, you pay, and you get your medicine. Go quick. Information now moves faster than any other. Right. The other one is about artificial intelligence. We talked about that. Very, very common now, machines talking. I think that like human beings, they mimic the actions and so on, but they really don't think. Machines don't think. But this whole area, again, of technology affecting enterprises. Intelligent programs used to replicate human behavior. Chatbots can be used to replicate human conversation, to interact with the users and web. Again, that's what I mentioned earlier. Companies shifting to this to 24/7 communication availability, so that it's no longer the office. You see, whereby you used to call the office hours are 8 to 5. 8 to 5. In America, it's 9 to 4. I think in some of those countries, it's 9 to 4. People go work different shifts and so on. So now, 24 hours, you can order things, and there are machines to receive your order and process it, so that you get whatever you are looking for. You get it without a human being there waiting for the clerks to come. It's automated. Of course, there will be the personal parking, but machines can do a lot of that, all that stuff. All that is what we're talking about AI. And then outsourcing online freelancers, I mentioned that earlier. I was talking about, we'll come to talk more about them. Here we are, helping to avoid salaries, taxes. He helps all this, so that you pay a small fee. The person working in a remote office, maybe in India, or somebody working somewhere in Kitale. You are in Nairobi and you are looking for ABCD. Instead of you searching for that information, just post it, and somebody in Kitale, in her office or his office, will be working on this. And in an hour, 2 hours time, they bring you the information required. Send it over the internet. You get it. You don't have to go or visit or see or talk to. No, just post it and you get the responses and you pay the money. You get the information. All that is happening. today in this day and age. We talked about that. That's all trends. So we talk about them. That what's happening is we are moving away now from the physical movement. E-commerce has come in also. It's another area of technology. Activity electronically, buying or selling products, selling, customers seek out the products online. Sites can be easily set up. Shopify and WordPress, existing platforms such as Jumia, Piggyme, and many others. They are there, significant, reduces costs. All this is e-commerce. Again, they are trends of today. Of course, COVID-19 has accelerated these activities, move them faster to where they are, we are moving to. Otherwise, you find that we were still going there. The world was going e-commerce. And by the time I'm sure you people finish school in a year or 2 years' time, we'll be in another stage altogether. Even this teaching will be slightly different than what we're doing, using now Zoom and the Moodle and the big blue button. We may be using other technologies coming, and we'll find out, you guys. There are some of your friends who are very busy looking at what's the best way of having a real, almost real class, real virtual class, that I can see Mwalimu, can talk and so on and so forth. Mwalimu can see all of us. You know, right now it's limited. I can't see all of you, you know, unless you pop up, unless we share with the video sharing. But there will be one whereby we can talk to each other. We just sit like a classroom. We talk. Maybe that's another way of doing it. So a lot of that is happening. Remote working is there. COVID-19 has ushered in a new era. We've said that earlier. Working from home. Working from home has its own challenges and so on. You have to set up an office in your house, or you have to get a place, an office near your, wherever you stay, your home. Some people may not have a bigger house. They may have just one room where they live in, and they share with everybody else. Inconveniences are there. You have to tell people, hey, people, keep quiet as I talk, as I go to class, or go outside. Outside is depending on where you live. Be a lot of noise also there. So work at home has its challenges. Also managing your time at home, because home environment is home environment. You want to clear away from home environment, go to an office situation, and it takes time to do that. Okay. Gives employees sense of flexibility outside the home. Yes, you're outside this, you can work beyond. In fact, one of you said, Mwalimu, instead of us doing exams and cuts, maybe daytime, why don't we do them in the evening? I said, fine. Some of them we can do in the evening. Some of them we do daytime. Enables your business to be more accessible to those who may not be able to. Yeah. Remote working. It has brought a lot of advantages. What are some of the advantages of remote working? Give other examples of advantages, examples of advantages of remote working. Let me say that, remote working. Give two other examples. Give two examples. Two examples of advantages, or give two advantages of working at home. Give two advantages of working at home besides what we have here. Two other advantages of remote working. What are they? Give also challenges. Give also two challenges of working home, from home. Yes. Those of you are working from home, wherever you are studying. Studying is working because that's your occupation at the moment, you're a student. So let's hear from you. Yeah. Give two examples. Onyoni, it saves transport costs. Oh yeah, interesting, Onyoni. Transport costs, reduces office costs. It's flexible, less costly, not paying fare, convenient, yes. What about the challenges? You people should give challenges. It's expensive, e.g. data bundles. Yes, I want to hear that from you. Yes, Mercy says it gives what? Yeah, you're talking about data bundles. Very interesting. It's expensive, e.g. data bundles. Privacy is enhanced. Yes, it can also be taken away because it depends on where you are at home. Yeah, it can also be taken away. Yes, zero commuting, exactly, and conducive environment. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes people sit down conducively. You are sitting there, you're wondering, what are you doing? You aduko shuleni. Yeah, Working too much, yes. Ah, Omar, I like that. What do you mean by working too much? Is it really involving, Omar? You said something there. Dealing with family, e.g., kids, may be tiresome besides work. Angela, I think you said it, man. If you have a family, you're still a young family, you find that there's a lot of noise around. You have to deal with people. Okay, these people, it leverages you for formal, what? Somebody says about formal sleep, leverages you, says working too much, dealing with family, kids, leverages you of formal setup, yes. It can be have a schedule that is flexible, yes. Disadvantages noise from kids and family, right? You're right there, Jacqueline. Yes, generally where network is an issue, exactly. I will correct that. Network's an issue. Belinda, it saves money. Yes, it saves money on one hand, but the other hand, you have to use it for these peppers, for bundles. You can separate working hours from personal. You can't, exactly. It becomes personal things. You are either dealing with house chores or whatever, and so on. Concentration may be undermined. Promotes work equals and increased productivity. I don't know what you mean by work equals. It's expensive since it requires electronic gadget and power. Exactly. Joram, yeah, increased distractions and isolation. Yeah, isolation is one thing I can say here, because you are not interacting directly face to face with your fellow students. You are just isolated. You are in your room somewhere, and so on and so forth. Here, face to face could be into the Malim and so on. Yeah, interesting. Keep writing, eh? Right, want to move on. Remote working, and then we got the next one is that's all these are technology that are enhanced by this. The other ones that are coming in are social media. This is the big thing, eh? Social media. Wow. One of the best marketing advertising tools for small business, low cost. So technology helps in terms of social media. You know, the advertising today is not the print. Not many people buy papers, by the way, newspapers, reading them, historical models of it. Most people are now social media, WhatsApp, the website, all these and any others. Influence bloggers, individuals, businesses hired to review products and so on and so forth. Has pushed this to everyone to online. Yeah. Social media is key now, even as the biggest thing for the University of Marketing, social media, and assessing people's views and so on, and they help you be able to understand and so on. Big data to be defined as software utility that is designed to analyze, process, extract the information from extremely complex data, and which is traditional from traditional way. Yeah, enormous data sets and so on. Yeah, blurred lines between personal and professional life. Somebody mentioned that. Increased distractions, yes. Advantages, remote working, increased productivity, more savings, challenges, overcoming crowds, and so on. Junior assignments are demanded promptly, and this may not materialize due to lack of slow internet services and so on. Yeah, agree with you. Many of those things are there, right? Assignments are and promptly. Yes, so we look at technology enhancing learning and enhancing quite a number of things. What about advantages of social media? Yes, maybe Angoba has posted that question. What about advantages of social media? Yeah, can drink a cup of hot water myself, feeling a little bit thirsty. Yeah, so advantages, what are they? What are some of the advantages of social media? Marcy has posted that, ladies and gentlemen. What are some of the advantages of social media? Maybe you can tell us. Yeah, my name is taking a cup of hot water a little bit here, to keep going. Since a number of you had asked you to say something, and you prefer, maybe most of you are audio all the time, you could have said a few things. Yeah, what are some of the advantages of social media? You can reach more people, if I may say directly. Social media is a trend for the young, the youth today. Yeah, Biginga says advantages: improved employee retention may extend to company operation hours. Disadvantages: more difficult to supervise. That's about what? Typing about working at home. More difficult to be supervised or evaluate work, could create difficulty in scheduling meetings and coordinating. Yeah, Biginga have said it exactly. The disadvantages working at home. Although we are doing this as one of the technology has allowed us, but it has its own disadvantages. Social networks such as Plus, one can earn from it, yes. You reach a large audience, especially you now, for example, Professor can do that. Thank you, Mercy. The question was yes. You've answered it, Mercy. You reach more audiences, and you can also, social media here, what it does is really it reaches where print media cannot reach. It's limited. Print media, you must read it there. But social media, with your gadget, your smartphone, you can get this information anytime, anywhere, 24/7. That happens. The 24/7, you can be on social media, whereas the other ones are limited. You have to be in fixed scope place to see it or to read it, to get the documents. Challenging working at home, taking care of children, yeah, and sometimes you get tired, starting, yeah, I see all that. Kibiegon, yeah, says large groups of people, serves as advertising process. You can use social media, promote sales, easy access to customer feedback. Yes, customer feedback is instant. Yes, Brian Kingi. Brian, you want to say something, Brian? Hello, Brian. Hi, Brian. You are muted, my friend. You don't are muted, man. Okay, I need somebody to say something at least. You can say something very good. Christian, easy communication, fast again. Social media is fast. As we said, Sam, reach quickly. Get people. You can evaluate your performance very easily. Yeah. Right. So the big data I mentioned about this, we move the next one here. All this technology. And we move to something here. The gig economy is free market economy in which temporary positions are common and organizations hire independent workers for short term and so yeah. That's what it's possible. Gig workers are independent contractors, online platform workers, contract farm workers, on-call workers, and temporary workers, e.g., Uber drivers. All this is gig economy. You can see what it means. Technology has brought all this. You can get people temporary, they work, they finish, they pay, they go, and so on. So you are no longer confined by the four walls and regulations of the company where you have to hire people. You don't do that. I need this kind of people. I can get them online like that. Very quickly, they go and do the job there. I pay them. I'm paid. I pay them. They go. So all this is happening, growing fast due to mobile, internet, and smartphone. In the market, it's easy to outsource services such as delivery service. That's a lot of delivery service, by the way. Tell you one of the quicker ones I see in town recently, until we're out of now the place of confinement and confinement. It's a question of delivery, parcels in Nairobi. You don't have to go physically. There are companies that deliver these. Young people who have set up their own small business. There's a young man, very interesting, very impressive young man. Give you the name of the company next time. Fellow has set up delivery. Call me, dial me, and I can deliver anything within Nairobi. Within 24 hours, they have received your parcel or your letter, whatever. So, pikipikis, they use motorcycles instead of border. These are now used for delivery. This is a quick one here. I was talking about delivery services. You know, cloud computing is on-demand availability of computer systems, so on, especially data storage, cloud storage, and computer power without directive management. You know, cloud computing. What about cloud computing, where you are actually storage now out of reach by these other calamities that may happen? So, cloud computing is big today. Advantage means flexibility, scalability, and so on, accessibility. Yeah, and so on and so forth. All these are possible because of technology. We just touch and go, as I said, ladies and gentlemen. It's a wide area, but we're just touching and going because it helps us in terms of being able to understand the bigger picture. Environmental issues are there. I mentioned earlier that one of the things we'll be looking at as an issue is environmental. Today, businesses are not about profits alone. Environmental issues have become more prevalent. Yeah, they have become more prevalent today. Environmental issues. Climate change has become an issue consumers relate to. Very easy. These things are happening. And then consumers are more now favoring green organic products and so on. Yeah, this is what's happening. No chemicals. Let me tell you about when you're in Nairobi, although now many of us are out of Nairobi. There are a few restaurants which are providing green products, green organic products, even restaurant. You want to eat food that was grown not using chemicals. Whatever you're eating, either rice, whatever it is, flour, wheat flour, whatever you're eating, vegetables, especially fruits, grown without any chemical, using organic methods. This is what's happening today. So consumers are becoming more and more health conscious. You know, those health conscious. They will not eat anything. Even the bread you guys eat, I eat, and so on. They don't eat every bread. They look at what is made from organic products. That's happening. Green SMEs are there, reinventing the operations to become green. Key environmental issues are regulation and compliance. We talked about NEMA, although corruption ended there also. In this country, we have to pray, ladies and gentlemen. You see the CEOs of NEMA, CEOs of KEB, Bureau of Standards, all these CEOs have been put in jail or they have cases in court because of money, of corruption, and so on. Pray for this nation. And you are going to be executives tomorrow. I hope we are training people who are not going to be tempted to take what doesn't belong to them and want to use it to make it their own through tendering, false tendering, through inflation of prices, through many things that are there today. You know, where values, we are training people with value. ZTech University aims at training graduates who have value, who look at what are our values, the ethics, moral ethics, and so on, where you do what's right, and so on. Anyway, so I was saying environment, NEMA is there, regulation, employee health, yes, is key also. OSHA, the occupational health and whatever, is key in factories and businesses. Health of employees. You don't expose your employees to fumes that may cause cancer or hazardous environment. But what's happened today? Because of desperation, employees are just working even in conditions that are not fit for human existence. They work. They are dealing with the chemicals. They are dealing with the hazardous products. They are working dangerous environments. But you see, they have no choice. They are like they say, we are beggars. But I want to tell you, they can work out of that. Employees can get out of that. And then the custodians are not helping them in any way. Custodians in terms of the unions, in terms of the health, the public health, they're not. Because their hands are oiled. They're not clean. They're oiled. And they go away, they look the other side while the workers are suffering. All that, including what we saw the Chinese the other day with the Kenyan workers being, when you are late a few minutes, the first thing is lala chini kiboko ndio hiyo. You know, that was not fair. And, you know, these things are there. And it was in the paper that these fellows were not deported. There was many issues anyway around it. So we are saying environment, sorry to get into that, but environment, key in terms of consumers at the end of the day and employees. And then the general third parties externalities, that whatever you do should not affect others. If you are using heavy chemicals in terms of keeping your crops healthy, and you know there's a wash away water into the stream, and that stream, the water downstream is being drunk by people, you know, using water for domestic use, you can see the problem is there, big problems. But who is supposed to be the custodian? NEMA, National Environmental, and other agencies. But do they work? So that's what we're talking about, the issues today in terms of as you run your business. Is it affecting the environment? Are you depleting the environment? Are you extractive industry? Okay. And then we go on as we talk about, maybe I should have said about industrialization has destroyed the environment. That's a good question to ask. Is industrialization good or evil? Is it a necessary evil, industrialization? Look at the factories that used to bail a lot of smoke into the air. In the early 40s, 50s, very early years there, even the century, turn of the century, factories were doing this, spewing a lot of smoke. Nobody cared. They wanted to produce goods, steel mills, and so on. There was something in the papers the other day and over the television in the Shokimau area that there is a steel factory there that is spewing a lot of smoke and affecting the environment around there. Shokimau, just beyond the airport a little bit. You know, environment. We're talking about an entrepreneur. And they said this company is owned by Kenyans. And one of the directors, a pastor, in fact, they interviewed him over the radio, was this ever radio TV, and he denied. He said, no, we do clean environment. And yet, on the other hand, you know, there's some of the papers in investigative journalism goes into behind the scenes and take pictures of the smoke coming out. Not only night, because they say we do it at night, even daytime, and affecting the whole area. And there was also this investigative journalist. There was also, it's a whole feature talking about people who have lost it. So there was a fellow there who had lost, and in the neighborhood, they lost their daughter because of breathing complications from the smoke. All this, we talk of environment, ladies and gentlemen. And the question is, when we talk of issues about business, when we talk of environmental issues, this is big. Big in terms of SMEs. We want money. We want to make profits. We want to be successful entrepreneurs. Does it affect the environment? So for you, next time when you are growing, whatever, you know, think about it. NEMA is just a regulatory agency. They may not police everybody in every corner of this republic because they don't have the resources anyway. It's you and me to know that is the environment and might affect the environment. As I talk like this, the riparian areas where the wetlands, I'm sure some of you come from the rural areas where there used to be wetlands, where there used to be grass growing and trees near streams of water. So today, when you go there, what happens? You see farms there, people growing vegetables up to the water. It's very sad. What happens? The entrepreneurs, agri-entrepreneurs, they need money because they grow those vegetables, they bring them to the market, we buy them. They're in business, they are successful. They sell these goods to the supermarket, people buy and consume. But what happens to the environment? That's a key thing that comes in. NEMA is not everywhere. The government agencies have failed. They went to sleep, especially the people on the local ground level, like the chiefs and so on. Their role would be to extend this. And the question was, are the chiefs involved in the environment issues? Or they say, oh, this NEMA's work. Why would the NEMA want your police up? These are the questions that come in. We talk about issues in terms of entrepreneurship. It's more urban than actually more rural areas. Now, we turn a leaf and come to globalization. Globalization is an issue that comes in when we talk of globalization. It's also a trend that everything's global. I asked a question earlier about China. I mentioned about China, that what happened in China a few months ago in December last year, that's about 8 months ago, has affected the whole globe. Really? Yes, it has. When we look at, well, it started as a small thing in one city. Oh, there's this virus that has come, and people are just, what is it? Tell us more. Before long, come early in the year, Chinese were saying, yes, we have a problem here in our hands. And before they say that, it's already jumped to Europe. Italy and the EU, Spain, cleared a lot of people. People are just dying like flies. And the government began waking up. Before long, there it has jumped to America. Trump was denying it. Now Trump is almost strangled with all what is happening, seeing people in the New York, state of New York, the epicenter. My goodness. So this is what's happening. Globalization. Before that, Europe, UK, struggling. France, Germany, shut down. Whole economies were shut down. Africa, here we are. We thank God it spared us a little bit, but we pray that it spares us more. We have had our own challenges and issues. Africa, here we are. Our own lockdown. You guys cannot move. I'm working at home. I should be at ZTEC, at the main campus here. You should be there in class with me. But here we are. So when you talk of globalization, not globalization of only business, trade, but globalization of issues like these ones, affect the whole globe. We are all interconnected by technology. And so what happens in the east reaches the west, north and south. Here we are. When you talk of globalization in terms of business, it's a process by which business or other organizations develop international influence. Yeah, internationally, we are all connected. Markets are there. By the way, 70% of products that are bought internationally come from China. Exports. China is doing great work in terms of, has been doing this because of outsourcing. I mean, companies are actually set up in China. Manufacturing these laptops like the one I have here. A laptop manufactured in China. It's a Toshiba. Many others, HP, many others. Even your own phone, cell phones, even if whichever you have, Techno, whatever, Samsung, they are made there. Companies have gone and located there. So what's happening is that globalization is a real thing, and one small thing that sparks or creates a ripple in the manufacturing or the process or value chain or supply chain, it touches everybody across the globe. Access to foreign markets, strong local capabilities, increased competition due to globalization, technological advancements such as the internet and so on is there, and results larger volumes. And so the whole globe, things are manufactured cheaply. And when they reach us here, we are really enjoying those fruits of those products. But they are coming from a factory or an industry that is halfway across the globe. So that's what's happening with globalization. Elements of globalization give access to markets, employees, competition is there, business equality, increase in tourism. Tourism is another key thing. It's affecting us now. Tourists who are coming in to see our animals here, they pay, and what percent remains and what they take is a different matter, but they come and the incomes are there. The question is, globalization is here to stay. But a ripple in the market caused by a calamity or a pandemic like COVID creates not only ripples, but it creates waves that go across the globe, affecting even us in the developing economies like Kenya. So globalization is there as a trend. We're talking about contemporary issues and trends. So trend globalization, and there are issues tied in there that globalization has advantages and disadvantages. If I may ask here, what are the disadvantages of globalization? What are the disadvantages of globalization? We talked what it is. What are some of those disadvantages of globalization today? We talk about what's happening. The whole globe is related together. What are they? Keep your answers coming, ladies and gentlemen. Move very quickly to the next one. Move quickly. Factors affecting globalization are here. You know, as you talk about advantages and disadvantages, ease of shipping, technologies, their rapid, sustained technological change, reduced to cost of transmitting. Trade agreements are there across the globe. The COMESA, Common Market, East and Southern Africa, the AGOA, this is the American Growth Opportunity Act. All these are giving us opportunities and so on. But as we talk about this, you can keep your answers coming through what are the disadvantages of globalization. You know, so these are some of the factors: ease of shipment, goods go get across, technology is there, information across, and or you can make an order, you receive it, and so on and so forth, and goods are supplied. Some of the then financial technology has come in also, which I mentioned very briefly here. Financial technology, fintech, is a technology of innovation that aims to complete the traditional financial methods in the delivery of financial services. That's what I was saying. That M-Pesa is fintech. You know, MSCs and the world over challenges regarding access to finances. Now you can do it directly. Fintech is driving the market today. You know, Kenyan Bureau of Standards, Kenyan Bureau of Statistics, data show that in 2016, 40% of SME owners had commercial applications for their mobile phones, and 39% of SMEs who are registered pay bill users, 49% are mobile use money, and POS infrastructure. Yeah, this telling you, as we look at some of these globalization issues, okay, before we go to fintech, I can see some responses here about disadvantages. Yes, what are the disadvantages of moral standards? Yes, disadvantages of globalization, increased global investment, and economies of scale increased. Now, is that a disadvantage, Mwasi? Belinda, there's challenging morals, yes, standards and so on, right? Products and so on come in. Globalization, tourism comes in, and many other things comes along with others. Language barrier can be a disadvantage, yes. Last exploitation, yeah. You are exploited because of not understanding contracts properly, probably the translation zone, maybe. There is standardization that may not be favorable to developing economies. Yes, you meet certain standards. If you are going to export Eurocup, for example, whereby you have to meet certain standards, you know, ISO certification. Before you export anything, you must have ISO certificate. All these standards are there and may affect SMEs. That's right, Junior, Mike. Stiff competition, yes, very quickly. Stiff competition, yeah. Young industries tend to spend more in terms of setup and so on. But established one like in China, which produces mass production. When you talk about these masks, Chinese companies can give you 1 million per day. Chinese companies, because they have these huge factories, textile factories, or China, or India, for example. So when you talk about our own infant industries, people are struggling. The tailors, we have our tailors, local tailors, trying to step on their sewing machines, making these masks. The Chinese can give you these millions of them in a day. You see, so those are some of the challenges of globalization that you need to understand that it affects. As long as, on one hand, we impress it, we have to. On the other hand, we have to protect our industries. We have to be careful what industries we need to. So competition is there. Globalization has fueled inequality, yes. Eroded the worker, yes. Globalization has created consumers. We are consuming things from other countries. We are not producing anymore. We are working in factories to buy goods. We are not to sell goods. We are working in factories that actually we just living wage, as we say. We are just consumers. So globalization does that. Globalization creates race to the bottom, yeah, profits and so on, spreads vulnerable infections. Yeah, exactly. That's what's happening. You've said it. COVID came because of globalization. If there was no globalization, assume there was no globalization. That means there's no movement out of China coming to Africa or going to Europe or Americas. Would we have COVID-19 to this scale? We had our own problems like the Ebola, the Ebola and Mobac and so on in DR Congo, because of the country. But we didn't export much of that. Now here, this one here, from China, Wuhan city, a small city, 11 million people, to the whole globe of billions of people. India is affected. Europe, the whole of Europe is affected. The Americas are affected. Here, Africa, we are affected. And it started from China. So that is the biggest disadvantage of globalization. We didn't know that. Okay, it's right there. Okay, globalization is to reduce public local revenue. Yes, danger of job loss. Yes, because they are only workers. Factories have already exported. In fact, I tell my friends, and I'll tell you also my friends, still friends. Yeah, when you buy that mobile phone which is made in China, what are you doing? When you buy that product that's made in another country, what are you doing? You are exporting the jobs. It means you are keeping those factories working and you are giving those workers their jobs. Yourself, you are not working. That's what you have done. And that's why governments have to come up with policies that are clear in terms of what do you import, what don't you import. And have deliberate action, even if our products are expensive, find a way of reducing the cost so that people can consume locally. There used to be a slogan, buy Kenya, build Kenya, buy Kenya. Nunua Kenya, jenga Kenya. But you see how far did it go? It was just a slogan. The president also tried it the other day. Because our factories are not working. Textiles, for example. Take example of the textiles. The history of textiles in this country. We used to grow cotton, we used to have ginneries, we used to have factories like Kikomi and others. Kikomi in Kisumu, we have Nitex, I think we had in Thika, we had textile industry there, we had in Eldoret. What happened to textile industries? Globalization. Okay, so that's issues. The advantages, corruption comes in, theft comes in, reduces the public revenue, risk hacking, okay, exploitation of workers in the developing countries from the, creates rest at the bottom, click, all this. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for those comments. Let's look at financial technology now. Financial technology, as we said, is actually using mobile funding, using technology to transact financial matters. Mobile M-Pesa is one of those. And then there's also others. And the statistics here were shown by Kenya National Bureau of Standards research that was shown that in 2016, 40% of SMEs, all SMEs owners, had commercial applications for their mobile phones. They had 40%, which is a good percentage. The 9 of them were registered pay bill users. Now there's a new technology by M-Pesa, that the M-Pesa can run your books and the accounts. Listening to it the other day over TV yesterday, actually, and even in the newspapers, you read about it. That now, they have come up with a new platform. You register and you can do your transactions, your books through that platform. Very interesting. So we are talking of fintech and fintech, and they're actually talking about small businesses that they can actually do their books, their transaction books, their finances, payments, receipts, all that. Even the books, you can get your books and your accounts, under that. Very, very interesting technology. So we are talking of it is here to stay today. So you don't have to employ an accountant and so on. Well, you may employ one to just oversee the actual physical records and so on, but other bits of it is done elsewhere. And there's this lady advertising saying, look, I now care, I'm now free from worry of my employees stealing from me because all things automated payments is by M-Pesa, it's automated payments, I pay salaries on this, the payroll is on it, I also pay suppliers, I receive my money through this platform. I have no less direct transaction with money. It means it's efficiency. Very interesting. So financial technology coming in. Of course, there is this crowdfunding, which I mentioned earlier about how you raise money, mobile payments, blockchain, cryptocurrency. All these are some of the new technologies that are coming here today, which you may not have a lot of time, but I'll just run through them quickly. Crowdfunding is the practice of funding project, venture, raising money from small. There's organizations that are actually have pulled together resources. You can get funding from them. Crowdfunding, call it crowdfunding. It's new in this country, but it's here already. Kickstart is one of those. Kickstart's an example. If you go and Google Kickstart or Indiegogo, you get that about crowdfunding, where you can get funding from to expand your business, grow your business. Right. Okay. And then Very quickly, mobile payments are there. Mobile payment, we talked about this. M-Pesa, we've already talked about this. Pesa Pap, all this is happening. Recently, Kenya access to financial services with 22.6 million Kenyans subscribing to it. Wow, can you imagine that? That's half the population in this country. We're talking about 50 million people. And these statistics are a bit maybe a year old or so. So we're talking of almost 25 million Kenyans using M-Pesa. Can you imagine the money that the owners of M-Pesa are generating, minting a day? Even if they're taking a shilling or 2 shillings per day from each of those people, how many million are they making? And not a day, that's a second. We are all sending money, receiving money, and so on and so forth. So you can see this is a real revolution, mobile payments. And it's a current trend. And many organizations have talked about appliances, applications are coming up now, going further and further into assist the SMEs and businesses. Very interesting. Mobile phones can also be used for this. Barclays Bank, Equity Bank have introduced MPOS technology to help businesses and retailers boost sales. There are all these point of sale, whereby you swipe your card there and the payments are done directly. You don't have to go to the bank to withdraw cash, carry cash with you. You see, very interesting. It's all that's happening today in mobile funding, which is part of fintech and so on, finance technology. Quickly, blockchain, cryptocurrency, just this notes to be available for you guys. Blockchain, what it is, record transactions and so on. Cryptocurrency, which was far the other time, is still there today. These are things that you can read and find out as current trends. Stock trading is there. Again, stock market is there. Very shares where you can invest in. This is a common thing today. Most people are where do you keep your money? Stocks, what stocks are available, is trading what. These are all current, not too new, but they are actually where people are going to save their money, get borrow from, go to the, if you want to turn your small business to a company, where would you go to, and so on and so forth. The capital markets. Insurance, the role of insurance, InsurTech, refers to the use of technology innovation designed to squeeze out savings and efficiency from the current insurance. All this is happening now today. Insurance and technology are fusing together to ensure that their trend is moving towards that. Insurance has always packaged itself. You don't have these insurance brokers coming around. Now there's a lot being done a smart way. You're talking about social media and so on. To get what? Financial technology through that. It's coming in. Then, of course, current trends, global trends are there. We mentioned them. Entrepreneurship growing popularly, and many countries wide realize the importance of entrepreneurship. I mentioned at the beginning. Current economic growth remains modest. According to the international IMF 2016, 3.1 of it is expected to be that growth globally. What's happening is global current trends globally. I mentioned here. This you'll be looking at that. But what I want to do as I get towards the end, I want you to look at this. Going back again to the current issues here. I don't know if this picture is clear. We're talking of who are the millennial entrepreneurs. Who are the millennial entrepreneurs? Who are they? Who are the millennial entrepreneurs? And you see here, millennial, who are they? They are the tech addicts and the experience seeker. Because we're talking about current trends, and the current trends, entrepreneurs of today, where are they? You find that tech addicts here, 75%, I don't know if you can read these, looks like too tiny on my side here, make it a little bigger, 75%. Worldwide, 75% here use social networking sites. Now, that's what somebody was asking about social networking. What are the advantages? You can see that 75% of tech entrepreneurs are actually using social media, whether they are buying or selling or whatever. 74% believe new technology makes life easier. A sip of water. 74%. You can look at that. We're looking at millennial entrepreneurs of this current time across the globe. And 63%, sorry again, 63% believe what? Go around IT to find solutions. This is studies that have been done. And then the purpose is quality is important to the millennials, but the price must still be fair. They are driven by purpose and as much as profits. That's what we're saying in terms of the technology addict entrepreneur. And then we talk about relevance. Their values is relevance. being and having a positive impact on their community and economy. This is what the relevance is, the value. I want to make a business, run a business that has impact in my community and the economy. You are looking beyond yourself. You are not there just to make money for yourself, but this is affecting the economy and beyond. That's the values that they have. Now, on the other hand, we are talking of strengths and SMEs. On the other hand, we come to the experience seeker entrepreneur. So there are two types. There are those who are in really technology, and there are those ones who look about the experience. Now, the type of experience, they think being an entrepreneur means having a certain mindset rather than what? Rather than starting a company. Wow, interesting. What do they say? They say entrepreneurship is having a certain mindset. It's a way of life. You remember I defined this earlier and said entrepreneurship is not starting a business and running successful. It's more than that. It's a mindset. I can change. I can innovate. I can create wherever I am. You guys, you're at home. What are you doing with your time? Some of you said working at home, as we said, work at home as an advantage, you flexible. What do you do with that time? Are you innovative? Are you creative? This is a challenge, including even workers. Today, when you go out there, you see people are selling goods, especially foodstuffs, and more so grains. Yes, they're selling grains, they're selling green vegetables, they're selling fruit. You go out there, Kenyans have become more and more entrepreneurial, not by choice, but by the situation in the country. So it's turning everybody into doing something. Now, that's entrepreneurship, yes, but more than that is a mindset. There are those who sit at home and mourn and say, oh, my job went, I'm waiting for the government to pay me some little money, or my employer. But there are those who say, no, I can do something. Of course, there's a market. People have turned their vehicles into moving kiosks, turned the boot behind there, fill up goods there, and so on. People have turned their homes outside there, near there, especially those near the highways and the roads and so on and so forth. They have turned the place selling something. Young people like yourselves who are at home. I met some. I went to my local shopping center here where I'm staying, and I saw these are young people. I knew they were young people. I asked one of them, what do you do? Oh, I finished school. I'm waiting to go to university. Where? I want to go to university. I told them, no, come to Zetech University, by the way. It's a university that teach you well. I work there. And I can tell you for sure, this is a place. What am I saying? There are people there who are already doing things. So their experience. Okay. Then 81% say what? 81% say they value experience over material things. Yes. Experience is experiential. Experiential. 69% want to have a positive economic impact in launching a new business. Yeah. Economic impact, about 70%. And then authenticity. Millennials do watch and feel, but they still read and think. Combining all these experiences allows them to make thoughtful choices. They do watch and feel. And you're observant, they're keen. Entrepreneurs see, they watch, they think. And they read, they still read and think. Combining all these experience allows them to make choices that are good. Now, what else? That's what they do. And then when we come this side, we come to the relevance, also here their values. They want to have a positive impact, all of them. These are trends of entrepreneurs today. They are not the entrepreneurs we used to think about just going to sell good for the sake of it, but they are doing things that the tech ones we've seen there. They want to use technology. They see technology as a way out and believe in technology, everything technology. Social networking is key, social networks. And there are these ones who are, they combine. So this is the entrepreneur of today. He has both the what? The tech mind, tech addict, and also experiential addict. And here is the entrepreneur. You see, these are their values driving them to make a change, relevant, and make a change in the community, affect others' lives, goods and services, quality, timely, social media, use social media, come with new innovations, new things to make life change. Any comments on this? Ladies and gentlemen, give us comments. Any comments on the millennial entrepreneurs? Any comments on the millennial MI, millennial entrepreneurs? Leave any comments as we move towards finishing our class shortly. This is going to end it shortly. Yeah. Yes. Any comments? On the millennial entrepreneurs, I can see some of you have dropped out. We are 38. Any comments on the millennial entrepreneurs? We talked about them here. You see from this diagram here. Do you agree or do you disagree with these millennial entrepreneurs? Maybe Malim is just talking of his own things about these guys here. Millennial entrepreneurs. Who are they? They both have a tech mind and experiential seeker. And they're all working on these things. And these are the percentages as shown by a study which was done. I think if it said it's reflected in Kenya, it might have something also in the same way. It's done, of course, in the US and out there. But does it reflect the Kenyan entrepreneur today? You know, the entrepreneur today is not that Dukawala, the one who was selling things like at the time of some years they started the Dukawala. They've changed, they package themselves. They're not those shop owners. You can see now downtown Nairobi or any other big town in this country, the big shops that used to be there are now subdivided into smaller units, cubicles, selling their boutiques, are selling products. And what is happening? And you see young people in their computers, computer rooms, working, you know, doing online work, jobs, and so on. What do we see? Comments, members, I see a few comments. Mazi, I think most of them are optimistic and chat. And that's what's keeping them going. Yeah, thank you very much. Mazi, yes, the millennial entrepreneur. Who are they? Are you one of them? Would you be one of them? Do you think about it? Part of this course is to make you think in terms of what does it require for me to make a difference in lives of others. You know, at the end of the day, we're talking about this bottom line here. We're talking about this bottom line here, where we are saying, are you making relevance? Are you, sorry, yeah, we're moving here. Are you being and having positive impact on the community and the economy? That's a big thing. Of course, you earn a living, you earn your occupation, which pays you some money to pay your rent, buy food for yourself, take care of your family, modestly or to some level. And then what are you doing? You're providing goods and services. You're employing people. You are making change in the community. That's what it means. Yes, keep on typing. I'm waiting for some responses unless people have reached a plateau. I hope you haven't. We're just about to end. Yes. Quickly, I wanted to talk about what else, as you keep your answers coming. Yeah. Again, here, millennial entrepreneurs are between age 18 and 35. True. I mentioned about a study we did with this survey, Ruiru SME baseline survey. And we actually came up with this. They are between 18 and 30, 35, between 30 and 35 years old. Tech addicts and experience seekers. That's what it means. You saw that. So today's entrepreneur is this. They are technology. They use social media. They use the IT. And they are also seeking experience to make a change. Are you one of them? That's the question I asked. And I see I made comments here. Any comments on this? Mercy started by saying, I think most of them are optimistic. They are very futuristic, which is very key in their success. Yes, Bigingi, junior millennial entrepreneurs follows the status quo. Following the status quo, is that so? And the entrepreneurial environment, which is more technology driven, and the entrepreneurs are completely compelled to be technocrats and information. Yeah, they're compelled. In a way, you are compelled. You are pushed to do that. Okay. Leah says the fact that they are involved in philanthropy is a merit aspect. They prove that they can do business and still devote their time or youth time, increasing culture of giving to improve and so on and so forth. Yeah, millennials, what are they? They are those. Do we have them in Kenya? Yes. Some of you are, by the way, you didn't know. You are a millennial. You are thinking technology and experience seeking. For example, the Global Entrepreneurship Program, yeah, I want you to read about JEP program. I won't get into that. This process implies that businesses or any other organizations are able to conduct their operations on the national scale and create the national presence. That's what you need to do. You're not just looking at Kenya, you're looking beyond Kenya. Millennial entrepreneurs are flexible in their activities and innovative to the customer loyalty. And they think internationally. Many of them think that this is never self-made. Yeah, you move beyond that and you go internationally. Right. I want to go further very quickly again here. You have these slides, by the way. We normally, at the end of class, we'll load them on the YouTube. You pick them from there. You have your notes there. You have whatever you need there. Globalization is a technology. State of globalization is a technology. Globalization facilitates transnational. Yeah, we went about this earlier. We don't want to tie ourselves there. And very quickly, the principle in Europe, Now, this is just about European entrepreneurship. We talked about trends and issues globally, Kenya and globally. Europe, you can see its economy is going down, but current small and medium enterprise account for 99% of all business in the EU. Very interesting. Wow. 99% of business in European Union are creating, enterprise account for, small and medium, although the definition is slightly different, but they are in the same direction, while creating a whopping share of 85% of new jobs. Wow. You can see Europe, it's really interesting. So we are not very far. We are going that direction also. Even the economies we think were interested in big companies are no longer there. Even though Europe has well-established innovation hubs like Berlin or Paris, other cities of Europe compete for the attention of promising entrepreneurs and so on. Yeah, right. Then we go to where? We want to go to China and US. The US benefits from being the largest economy in the world, and it has considerably better macroeconomic landscape compared to Europe. Historically, the US has been a trendsetter when it comes to entrepreneurship trends because of the appeal, the American dream. You know, the American dream, some of you still think of the American dream. By the way, the American dream is no longer good, by the way. There are Kenyans there who are want to come home. They are stranded. With this COVID-19, it has opened up some dark side of America where a foreigner is in a foreigner. You'll not be treated better than the other people. The other people are treated well, first of all. You guys get back. You see Trump was behaving, saying, if you are studying as a student in American universities or colleges, and all your courses are online like this, you must go back to your country. We don't need you here. And you see what they're saying? Visa restrictions. I've been there. I know those people. You study there. They like you when you are going back to your country. But even you are staying there and you want to take their jobs, forget. They look at you as a coupe, as a parasite. So anyway, what I was saying is the American dream, seen as one of those dreams of actual entrepreneurship. Silicon Valley and so on. Coleman Foundation designed the Growth Enterprise Index. I want you to read about this. Go read about Government Index. I've said about also other things that you can read and find out about the global trends in entrepreneurship. We want to go to China. Trends in China. Now, because of the change of geopolitical landscape, China, the world's second largest economy, has the opportunity to become a leading economy advocating for globalization, for free trade. China doesn't care about many things. That's why they're selling things all over the globe. They don't care. They really flood the market. If you open your doors, they flood the market, all sorts of goods, cheap goods and whatever. And what are they doing? Creating jobs at home and they're getting you out of jobs. So China is an open economy and so on. Economically, many companies now are entrepreneurial companies in China. I like CCTVN. China's television. I read quite a bit. When I watch, I see how China has developed. I'm looking at the China of 1950s and 60s and China of today. China of today is an entrepreneurial country, by the way. Despite these negatives about China, it's a very entrepreneurial country. And there are many entrepreneurs like Jack Ma is an example and many others. Of course, it's state entrepreneurship controlled. But you see, China has transformed completely. You look at their cities, look at their countries, and they talk about historical sometimes where they came from and where they are. Of course, trying to encourage people to see about China. All this is behind that. But the whole thing is Chinese entrepreneurship is very interesting. So we looked at Europe, Americas, and China. And we want to finish, my friends, and to end here by taking somewhere. Becoming a nationally minded entrepreneur is a key thing. The above-mentioned entrepreneurship trends show that to be as successful as an entrepreneur, it is essential to be aware of the technology trends, take advantage of the networks and so on, seize opportunity to start and expand your business in your preferred field. These are key things, ladies and gentlemen. I want to finish by saying this is what I want to finish with. That you see, we have to think about being internationally minded entrepreneurs. We may start locally, but look beyond. So the trends today are looking at the beyond. The market is out there, the bigger market. Our markets are small. We start small, but we go bigger market. And this is what it means, essential things. Aware of technologies, advantage of these networks, seize the opportunity, and move. Ladies and gentlemen, as you're at home there, don't think you're just at home confined. Your mind is not confined. You are in class now, you may be taking the next class and so on, exams, but think outside that. What can you do with yourself? Assuming this is a permanent normal, whereby we'll always study and work at home, what do you do? Graduation may be also online, like the virtual graduation of the university that have gone ahead of us already. So you see what's happening is the new normal. We embrace it as entrepreneurial students and scholars, and we move forward. Those many remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I want to end somewhere by saying, reflection, analyze the current trends and challenges facing Kenyan SMEs. And then there's this video I want you to view. View this video and note the discussion centered on Amazon.com about the trends. It's about Amazon.com. Couldn't view it because of time. With those many remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I want to end there and wish you God's blessings. Take care of yourselves. Watch over yourselves. Any comments? Any comments about the class? Comments about the class? Mwalimu wants to hear some feedback from you. If Mwalimu was boring, say Mwalimu, you're boring. If Mwalimu, we learned something, yes. Comments, Kibrodi, thank you very much. Good session, yes. 1, 2 other more, and then we close. Good session. The class was interesting. Thanks, sir. Thank you, Mohammed. Sign up. Thank you also for being active. Thank you for being active, Mohammed, and many others who are very active. Yes, Kibrodi, thank you. An interactive session. Blessed to Professor. Lesson was interactive and increasing. I don't have much group membership. Class was productive and so on. Have learned good class. Thank you very much, each one of you. Now groups, as I mentioned, I said groups for the assignment. We supposed last time 5 people per group. There are some who have said can we be 6 because they are town campus. But for you guys, I can see groups of 5. I see we are at 38 today. The other day we are 47. Can you be able to get others so that you are 5 per group for that assignment we had given you? Thank you, Mike Jr. Interactive. I want you next time, guys, you talk a little bit. Let not be Mwalimu always talk. With that, may the Lord bless you. We are closing, and I want to close. Now we stop there.